So this episode actually started the same way a lot of our episodes do. Not planned, not scheduled, but because we watched something and immediately looked at each other
Mhm.
and we were like, okay, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, because this was not on our list. We didn't sit down and say, "Hey, let's do Lucy Letby."
Right?
So we turned on a documentary. We watched it all the way through, and we both were just shocked.
This documentary is on Netflix. It's called The Investigation of Lucy Letby. And once it ended, it felt impossible to move on without unpacking it.
Because this isn't a case where everyone agrees. It's not even close.
And what surprised us most wasn't just the case itself, it was what happened after the documentary ended. The internet response, the Facebook groups, the emotional intensity.
So today, we're not here to tell you what to think. We're just here to walk through what happened, what the documentary shows, and what the public's saying, and why this case has become so polarizing.
So, to fill you in, let's start at the beginning. Lucy Letby was a neonatal nurse in England. She worked at the Countess of Chester Hospital between the years of 2015 and 2016. She cared for premature and critically ill newborns.
So this matters. These weren't healthy babies going home after a day or two. These were already vulnerable infants.
And during that time period, doctors noticed a rise in unexplained baby deaths and sudden collapses in the neonatal unit. Babies were stable and they would suddenly just crash. Some died without a clear medical explanation. Eventually, attention turned to Lucy Letby, largely because she was present for many of those incidents.
And that's one of the most important parts and controversial elements of the case.
Police were eventually called in. After a lengthy investigation, Lucy Letby was arrested. She was charged with murder of 7 infants and the attempted murder of several others. In 2023, she was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
And from the very beginning and still today, has maintained her innocence.
Yes, she has. At trial, prosecutors argued that Lucy Letby intentionally harmed babies in several different ways. They said she had injected air, administered insulin, and even overfed them milk or fluids.
This wasn't a case with one clear act caught on camera or one undeniable piece of forensic evidence.
Instead, the case relied heavily on patterns, the timing of collapses, the number of incidents, and the fact that Lucy Letby was often on shift when they happened. Medical experts testified that the number of deaths was statistically abnormal and couldn't be explained by natural causes alone.
And that's where the debate really begins because pattern doesn't mean intent.
The jury ultimately believed the prosecution's case and convicted her on multiple counts.
Now let's talk about the documentary because that's what pushed the case back into the spotlight.
The Netflix documentary focuses heavily on the investigation itself. It includes police footage, interviews, and insight into how the case was built step by step. What stood out to us is how early suspicion can shape everything that follows.
Yeah, once someone becomes the person, every piece of information gets filtered through that lens.
The documentary also shows how incredibly complex neonatal medicine is and how difficult it can be for juries to fully understand a medical testimony.
Especially when even experts do not always agree.
After we finished the documentary, we went online, and that's where the case takes on a whole new life. If you search Lucy Letby on Facebook, you'll find dozens of active groups, public and private, with thousands and thousands of members.
So they have group names like Lucy Letby, Road to Freedom, Lucy Letby, Exoneration, Correct Verdict or Miscarriage of Justice, Lucy Letby, Case and Trial Discussion. So some of these groups have thousands of members and multiple posts every single day.
And these aren't casual discussions. People are deeply invested. They're sharing court transcripts, medical research, screenshots from documentaries, and long personal analysis. Some members identify themselves as nurses or healthcare workers, saying something about this case just doesn't sit right. This matters because justice doesn't end at sentencing anymore. Public opinion now lives online in Facebook groups, comment sections, and documentaries.
And once someone joins in a group that leans strongly one way, guilty or innocent, confirmation bias kicks in.
You start seeing only posts that support what you already believe. Dissent gets challenged, nuance disappears.
Yeah. And Lucy Letby's case is a perfect example of how this happens.
And another emotional layer is the impact Lucy Letby's parents, John and Susan Letby. They've publicly spoken out about the Netflix documentary, saying they were devastated to learn private police footage from inside their home was used without warning.
They described it as a complete invasion of privacy.
They also questioned the actions of the head investigator, saying they felt he had deep hostility toward them despite their full cooperation with police. They've said they cannot bring themselves to watch the documentary because of how distressing it is.
And regardless of where you land on guilt or innocence, it is heartbreaking.
That it is. So here's the question everyone keeps asking. Was the trial fair? Supporters of the verdict point out the jury heard months of evidence. Multiple experts testified. Appeals have been denied.
But critics raise serious concerns. No single definitive cause of death, medical testimony that some experts now challenge, heavy reliance on circumstantial patterns, possible hospital system failures.
And the bigger question might be, did the complexity of the medical evidence overwhelm the jury?
Or was someone needed to blame?
This case hits a nerve because it involves babies, nurses, trust, and authority.
So, we're taught to trust medical professionals. So, when that trust breaks, whether through crime or failure, people want answers immediately.
Add in documentaries, social media, online movements, and the story never really ends.
So, we're not here to tell you what to think
We're here to explain why this case refuses to settle.
and why Lucy Letby may or may not have been a calculated killer.
Was she a scapegoat for a broken system?
Or is the truth somewhere in between?
Watch the documentaries, read the articles, look at the conversations happening online, and then decide for yourself. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. So, all this being said, rediscussing. What do you think? Do you think she did it or do you think it's a setup?
So, within like moments of watching the documentary, for some reason, I did automatically say she's guilty. There was stuff that was said and done. I
Well,
thought she was guilty.
I looked at her right away and was just kind of like, maybe, maybe not. I just really wasn't sure.
So then I watching it,
Mhm.
and then it got more confusing.
Like her journal entries saying like I'm a bad person. I pretty much saying like I murdered the babies. And I mean, she didn't say it exactly that way. That was me paraphrasing, but she did use the word murder.
Right.
And I'm just like, is she just so frustrated? She's just like getting feelings out. I'm not a journaler, but I feel like maybe a real journaler would be her answer.
Yeah. So some of these groups that I've joined and kind of been following have said that she already knew that stuff was going on. A lot of the nurses did not like her. The other thing I heard is she was very strict with her job to the point to where she would actually report herself when she made mistakes. Along with other nurses, she would file complaints on them. So could there have been a way where somebody didn't like her and wanted it to be her, even though it was them? You could easily set it up. Or was it just them trying to find another way for the hospital just being understaffed, overworked?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a case where if you would have cameras in every room, but of course, if you're understaffed, are you understaffed for financial reasons? Are you understaffed because
Yeah.
you can't find people? What are the reasons?
Right.
I don't know.
So
There's a lot of variables.
at one point, she was taken off the neonatal floor and put into a desk job as well.
Really?
And then she did ask to go back to the neonatal. And this was before any of this came out. And this is all information I'm gathering. There's so much out there.
Mhm.
But I will tell you, not one person have I ran across that is saying she's completely guilty. Like, I cannot find the people, like, there's not two sides to the story. Everything I'm seeing is she's been wrongfully convicted one way or
I do
another,
hear a lot that it was the head of the department or like the head nurse, if you will, something like this. Do you know what I'm
which they
talking
did not
about?
like her supposedly. Because you know what? If from what I'm hearing, the nurses, not one of them has come and said, I think she did it. Not one of her friends went against her. You cannot find anybody saying when she was a kid she
So
was
then
a
who are
weirdo.
you saying didn't like her?
The other nurses in there didn't like
Like
the
Lucy?
didn't like Lucy because she was a perfectionist, is what you're hearing on the internet. Again, this is just people
Okay.
saying.
So her coworkers think that she's a problem. She's frustrating to them, but her friends love her.
Right, and a lot of the nurses still come forward and say that they don't think she did it. So I don't know how
Even though
many
they didn't
people,
like her.
but, you know, like, yeah, there's those people that you can not like, but you're not gonna set them up.
Right.
So
Yes.
the other thing about the documentary too that you're hearing in these groups is they only gave you certain pieces. So
Their point of view. Like
when
whoever's conducting that documentary, you're going to see what they want you to see.
right, like, if you notice when you watch it, you'll see that she doesn't really show a lot of emotion. She's not crying her eyes out like, "I didn't do this. What's wrong? Help me."
Yeah, no, like
Um,
they go in and get her, and she's just sitting up in her bed stoic like this.
she did frantically cry and
And
freak out. They
and I
did
didn't
not
see
show it.
any of that, but I only watched the Netflix one, and I did not know a lot about this case before I
Right,
watched
and
Netflix.
and again, a lot of this information is coming from those that spend all their lives just digging into this case.
Yeah.
The internet can do amazing things and
Like, you
solve
have to
crimes.
piece it all together. That's the thing is you can't it's just like politics. You can't just watch one news station. You
You have
have
to
to watch
watch
them all,
every
and then you have to make a decision.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
research, a lot of reading,
And what's fake and what's not.
and there's so many people that can convince you to believe their theory is the
It's
right
true.
theory. Like, there's just so many
Like, the
ways things
mind
can
is
go.
so pliable. Like, I mean, there are master manipulators out there, and if you don't think they work for
Right?
these companies and the things we're watching, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I mean, I always say that, like, I think with my personality, I would be really good at being a shady person. Like, I would be able to manipulate and take advantage of people, but that is not who I am in life. I mean, did you ever think about that? Like,
Do.
if
But I
you
think
were a
it's funny
good
that you think you're gonna manipulate people and Brian's like, "Sarah's gullible." And you're over here like, "Nope, I'm gonna manipulate." But you
gullible,
can
you can use
to your
things to
advantage.
your advantage.
It's true. You just yes.
But I don't choose, I mean, I'm sure I've
Sarah
done it
wouldn't.
in a bad
Well,
way.
yes, we all have. Let's
That's a whole different podcast.
different ball game, different day. So yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. So right away, I had I think the first person I saw after I watched it was my friend Amy, and right away she was like, "I don't know." The whole time I'm like, "Do you think she did it?" And because oh yeah, I had not finished it. I just started it, and she was like, "I don't know. I don't know if she did it. I just really can't tell." And right away when I first started watching it, I thought she for sure did it. I did,
So
and
did I.
now I'm still now I'm just like,
I mean,
whatever
whether
happens, gonna happen.
there's a difference too, is what I'm seeing. So even if somebody may not think she's not guilty,
Mhm.
it's more about she did not get the justice. She did not get the true trial she deserved.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like this should have been like a mistrial, if you will, which I think is the most fucked up thing. Mistrials pisses me off all the time. There's
But
gotta
this
be, I want a
case,
yes or a freaking no. But this
this
one,
case does deserve something
yeah,
to
at
happen.
least that. I don't know.
Could you
Our thoughts are
imagine getting
yours.
put in jail for life? You're always taught to trust the cops, tell them
Well,
everything.
I think that all the time. And that's why, back in the day, when people were just setting people up all the time, or where you have like white against black or whatever you want to call that, bad things happen to good people. And that's depressing. It's just no. I just believe in justice is justice. If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're bad, oh, bad shit's going to happen to you.
Yeah. Or not to those that, like, people that have been put in jail for 50 years and
Yeah, it's
innocent.
terrible,
How many people are in jail right now that are
which
innocent?
is why I love DNA testing, but then you just, like, cracked my whole world because I love these cold cases being solved because of DNA testing, and Sarah just told me forensics got funding taken away or something.
Yeah, that is another rabbit hole we're hearing is that you're gonna get a lot more deaths ruled not not investigated enough. So they could be a homicide and they're not getting the blood work or blood tests or the forensics
So you're saying
done.
there's not gonna be, like,
They're
indictments?
cutting the funding,
Yeah,
yeah. So I guess if you I would imagine it's like if you're a homeless person and you're murdered versus you got this rich guy that gets murdered.
like, some things are gonna
I
be
think
swept
that
aside.
some things they're gonna base it on the
Okay,
importance.
this makes
I could be wrong.
I don't know, it's something
I
about I mean, I think that that's been going on forever, though, at all at different levels.
Some people just don't know to press things. Like,
That's
you could
true.
have an investigation and you could be the quiet one that sits in the corner, or you could be that
Or the
loud
squeaky wheel,
motherfucker
if
that's
you
like,
will.
"Hey,
Mhm.
get this done."
Well,
Um,
kinda like your brother-in-law said.
with the doctors,
Mhm.
he says you have to be aggressive. You have to be in the doctor's face, basically, like, "Hey, what's
And this
up?"
kid is an oncologist, like, if you're
Right. I always
what?
thought you just leave them alone, they're gonna treat you better because you make their life happier and you don't bug the shit out of them. Not the case. You could die doing that, so don't do it. You
Yeah.
gotta always
I
speak
mean,
up.
when he said this, I was kinda like, "Oh, I
It
mean, what?"
aggressive. I was like, "So, you probably hate when the parents are aggressive with you about their mom or dad," and he's like, "Actually, the ones that are aggressive with us are the ones that get
The
the
best
attention."
care. Yeah.
And it's not that they're picking and choosing, it's a doctor
It's just more
is
of a
there's so
demand.
much more
You're
disease
going to cause more of a problem if they don't appease you.
and the fact that they're so busy now, you could get left on the
Yeah.
side burner, is that what you say?
Oh, you could be
Yeah, like, left to the
left to
side
the wayside.
because forget
Yeah.
you because they're so busy focusing on all those that are coming at them. Like, "Help, hey, where's that
Yeah,
test
that won't leave
result?"
them alone.
Um,
So, I don't know, just something to think about. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. We're, we're Sarah and Jess pulling chairs to the table, sharing these stories wild and unstable. Trash talk to tacos, it's how we play. New episodes dropping every Tuesday. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real. Heartfelt, bizarre, the chaos we feel. From late night debates to pondering why. We're your best friends on a podcast. Hi. Casual chatter like friends in a room. Bright as the sun and loud as the moon. No subject sacred, no thought too small. We're chewing on life, answering its call. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real. Heartfelt, bizarre, the chaos we feel. From late night debates to pondering why. We're your best friends on a podcast. Hi. From top shelf wisdom to jokes down below, we've got a rhythm that'll steal the show. Hold your coffee, spill your tea. Talking trash as tacos in glee. We laugh, we cry, we spill what's real. What's real